Alright, hello and welcome to today's tutorials on Introduction to UI and UX Design. We'll be talking about UX and UI, the meaning and what it entails, how to go about it, and other things involved in it, processes, principles of designs, and some other topics that might be related to UI UX design. Thank you. So what is UI UX design? UX stands for the user experience, and it relates to how a user feels whenever they interact with a product or service. UI stands for the user interface, and it specifically refers to the touch points a person uses to engage with a digital product. So what are the differences now? UX is the careful planning and creation of the user experience and everything it entails. That is how you use the app from beginning to end, how the experience was from the start to the finish. It focuses first and foremost on creating a product or service that solves a particular user problem, making sure the proposed solution is easy and enjoyable to use. So it solves the problem. That's why most times apps comes with updates. Websites come with updates, and most times when they update, you see that okay, the interface has changed. Yeah, this is looking different. Oh yes, I like this. Just like a Windows update now, you'll notice that with each version coming out, I'm on the Windows Insider program. So with each Insider program that comes out, with each prototype or beta, whatever we can call it, maybe it's the beta testing, with each one that comes out, some things are better and some things are just quite annoying. So you grab onto the good ones and hope that they keep it for the final product. That is what the UX design is all about, making the process of using an app, a website or software, anything, making it enjoyable. Then the UI design is the process of designing how digital interface look and behave. It covers all the visual and interactive properties of websites, softwares, and apps, from colors and typographies to buttons, scroll functions, animations, and more. In this case, you can also bring in the principles of design, because that's where you see your scaling and everything. Okay, I open an app, which is more important, this or that? The scale matters, the focus matters. All these are the things that contribute to making your interface enjoyable, and an enjoyable interface can in turn produce a very good experience on your design. Okay, so let's focus on what does the UX design involve. The UX design, the designer thinks about how the experience makes the user feel, how easy it is for the user to accomplish their desired task. They also observe and conduct take analysis to see how users actually complete tasks in their user flow. This is why when you are done using an app, they will always tell you, rate us, how was the experience. Most times it's just for them to improve their services. It's also for them to also improve the user experience of their apps too. For example, how easy is the checkout process when shopping online? Yes, you can ask that. How easy is it for you to grip the vegetable pear? That is depending on the type of app you are talking about. So maybe this is a shop, a vegetable shop or something. How easy was it for you to select the particular vegetable you needed, or all those kind of things. For the bank apps, does your online banking app make it easy for you to manage your money? That is, maybe you can draw a plan on the app. Okay, I myself have used the bank app that helps you keep track of what you spent and the rest of them, and I really do like that. Then the ultimate purpose of the design is to create easy, efficient, relevant, and all-round pleasant experience for the user. That is the aim of a UX designer, or of the UX design, is to make make you happy or comfortable or relaxed. Let's just look all the good words you can think about while using their apps. It's for a good experience. That's all. So what does a UX designer do? The user experience design is the process of developing and improving the quality of interaction between the user and all facets of the company. User experience design is, in theory, a non-digital cognitive science practice, but used and defined predominantly by digital industries. UX design is not about visuals, it focuses on the overall feel of the experience. What does UI design involve? Like user experience design, the user interface design is a multifaceted and challenging role. It is responsible for the transference of the product's development, research products and layouts into an interactive, guiding, and responsive experience for the users. User interface design is purely digital practice. It considers all the visual interactive elements of a product interface, including the buttons, spacings, typography, color scheme, and responsive design. So it is the job of the UI designer to make an interface that is pleasing and aesthetically pleasing, has a nice color scheme, peaceful typography, the spacing is perfect, so that just the visual impression it gives it is what matters. Then the goal of the UI design is to visually, like I just said, visually guide the user through a product interface. It's all about creating an intuitive experience that doesn't require the user to think too much. The UI design transfers the brand strength and visual assets to a product interface, making sure the design is consistent, coherent, and aesthetically pleasing. Okay, so what are the softwares for this UX UI design? Well, most of them, there are lots of them, but these are the major ones people actually use. There's Figma, Adobe Design, Experience Design, popularly known as Adobe XD, Sketch, Origami Studio, Pencil Project, Proto.io, then maybe Theta and some others. But I feel like the most popular, the mostly used are Figma and Adobe XD. Okay, now we dive into the principles of design. What are principles of designs? Principles of designs are a set of rules that designers can follow when creating a composition to create visually pleasing work. The purpose of these rules are to deliver a message in the most organized and functional way. So this is very important because how you apply these principles determine how good people say your interface is, your softwares, your apps, your websites. These are what helps people understand. So you need to be very clear in passing your message, and the use of principles of design is very important in making this whole thing, your whole design work. So the basic design principles, there are others, but these are just a few that I mentioned and later spoke on. There's contrast, balance, emphasis, scale and proportion, hierarchy, repetition, rhythm, pattern, white space, and movement. So contrast is a difference in color, tone, or shape that contribute to the visual effects of a design or image. So you could use color to create your contrast. You can use maybe different sizes to create your contrast. You can use tone to create your contrast. It all depends on what you are going for in your design, and it's best advisable to understand all know how to apply them. So what's the aim of emphasis? Emphasis aim is to draw the viewer's attention to a specific design element. As you can have a whole thing written that when you need them to understand, you can either put it in parentheses or make it bold, put it in italics. These are what you need them to draw their attention to. Just like, okay, the second example, you see she's broken, and then the focus in actually is on he's okay. So that helps you understand things. Like if these she's broken were all in black, you will not bother looking for the he's okay because it's not there, so you won't really understand the context. So they're trying to tell you, okay, yes, most ladies think they are broken and he's okay. Oh sorry, the society thinks a girl is broken when she does this thing, but he's okay, all those kind of things. So they are trying to pass two messages at the same time, if you get where I'm coming from. But what emphasis does is to draw your attention to a specific design element. Scale and proportion. Scale is the size of one object in relation to the other object in a design or artwork, while proportion refers to the size of the parts of an object in relationship to other parts of the same object. So scale is talking about, okay, sizes, this is big, this is small, this is large, that's what scale entails. Then proportion comes proportion actually takes it further to understand, okay, this scale and this, okay, this is big, this is small, how do they relate? So proportion refers to the size of the parts. So you're talking about the whole thing now, not just one object. So you're talking about this. How do they relate? How does it make it a better visual experience for the user? How do you make the user understand that, okay, this is more important, this is this? You can also use scale to do that. Hierarchy orders elements on a page and highlights them by their importance. So hierarchy, you could use scale to do your hierarchy. Scale and proportion matters when it comes to hierarchy. So you can see in the below examples of visual hierarchy, the headline, how it's positioned. The headline definitely is supposed to be the largest. So the hierarchy of typography, in this case, the headline has to be the one with the largest font, while others, it depends, maybe you have a subtopic or any other subtopic or sub-theme for that, you take a smaller, but the main content has to be the smallest of all fonts, because you are trying to focus on this. Okay, I've printed an article. You cannot tell what I'm saying if my fonts are small from afar. So the headline has to be emphasized. Oh, this the weather today. Am I interested in reading that? Okay, no, I'm maybe I'm not. So if you are, you can go forward to say where are we talking about. Then your something might be the weather. Your topic might be weather today. Then something weather today in Los Angeles or in California, that kind of thing. So that there is an order of arrangement of elements on a page, just like this other one. Read this first and then read this. It matters, all these matters, because hierarchy helps people focus on what they need to understand first before going up to the next stage. And lastly, we have white space. I think this is what people don't pay attention to, but it's very, very important in your design. So what is white space, also known as negative space? Is the empty space around the contents and functional elements of a shape of a page. So maybe if you decide to go into web development, you'll see that there are things there are some elements like padding and margin. These are what helps you to give a specific distance from the boundaries, because you cannot just start writing from the boundaries. Even on your notes when you are writing, you can see at the top there's a space. Sometimes you draw a margin serif, so you don't start from the beginning of the paper. So these are white space that you give. So we don't measure them normally when we do it, but it's very important to make sure that they are measured when you are doing your web and app design, because it helps give this visual satisfaction just by looking at it. Well, this is evenly spaced. You get this, your eye becomes comfortable because you can just read through it. The whole space around is equal. There's just this comfort that comes there. I don't know how to explain it further, but white space is very important when it comes to your design. Thank you. And okay, that will be all for today's class. See you in the next one. Thank you.